welcome back to my channel. And first of all, thank you for making this as a huge success. And we crossed 2000 subscriber on our YouTube channel. Thank you for that. So today we have connected to discuss some of the interview questions that I have asked in my mock interview. So you might have been aware that I'm taking mock interview in recent times, and I thought that let me also contribute its answer. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. You can go to my channel, you can go to the playlist, and let's go to this particular playlist. Sorry, and let's go to the first round. Okay, the first interview itself. I've already given chapters, so you can just jump to that particular chapter, and like here, so you can just jump to this particular chapter, and you will get the first questions. For second questions, you can go here. You will get the second questions. For the third questions, you will go here. You will get the third questions, and for the fourth question, you can go here, and you will get the fourth questions. So as this was the data engineering interview, this is the typical data engineering interview that happens in product based companies. So here I have discussed mostly SQL, DSA, and some basic questions of big data questions. Okay, so let's start from very basic questions. So without wasting time, let's start our discussion. Okay, let me just maximize it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's try to solve. So I've also created one GitHub repo where I will be uploading my approach, and you can also make some contribution to this GitHub repo. I will write how to make the contribution in this README file. You can follow this contribution guide, and then you can just create one feature branch and mm, check out from develop branch, create feature branch, and once you complete your code, just try to create one PR request. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's I think we are ready to discuss the first questions. So the first questions that I've asked in my first mock interview was this. Okay, so let's start from this particular questions itself. Or let me just make this font little bigger. Okay. Okay. So the first questions that I have asked in my mock interview is this. So there is one table, and the name of table is actor and director, and it contains three columns: actor ID, director ID, and timestamps columns. So let's try to understand what these three columns are. So actor ID is the ID of the actor, director ID is the ID of director, and the timestamps means when this actor and director has collaborated, then it has given the timestamps at which they have collaborated. Okay, they have worked together in a simple language. Okay, and what we have to write? We have to write a SQL query for a report that provides the pairs actor ID comma director ID, where the actor has cooperated with director at least three times. So let's try to think from example. So what we have to find? We have to find all those actor director who have at least worked three times together. So let's suppose let me give one example from Bollywood. So let's suppose the ID of Ranbir Kapoor is one. Okay, the ID of Ranbir Kapoor is one, and Ranbir Kapoor is an actor, right? And Anurag Basu is a director. Okay, so and let's suppose the director ID, the ID of Anurag Basu is one, and the ID of Ranbir Kapoor is one. So here, for the first time when this Ranbir Kapoor and Anurag Basu has uh, collaborated for Barfi. So this one entry is made. Again, Ranbir Kapoor has collaborated with Anurag Basu for Jagga Jasus. Okay, then this entry is made. Again, they have collaborated for some movie. Let's I don't remember the name. Let's call X or Y. Okay, so for the Y movie, they have again collaborated. So we can see that that Ranbir Kapoor and Anurag Basu has collaborated at least three times, right? And let's try to see. So, Ranbir Kapoor, let's suppose the director ID 2 denotes Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So, Ranbir Kapoor has collaborated with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and then this record was made. He again for movie Savaria. For the next time he has again collaborated. Then this entry was made. But after that he never collaborated with Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So he has only worked for two times. And let's suppose this two. So let's two is the actor ID for Rajkumar Rao. So Rajkumar Rao has collaborated with Anurag Basu for the Ludo, right? So this one entry is made because this one denotes to Anurag Basu. Again, Rajkumar Rao has collaborated with Anurag Basu for movie MXY or something like that, and then this entry was made. But you can see that Rajkumar Rao has only connected with Anurag Basu only two times. So out of this data, only actor ID 1, that is Ranbir Kapoor, and director ID 1, that is Anurag Basu, has collaborated more than three times or at least equal to three times. So our output will be this. Cool. So I hope this questions is making sense to you. This is very simple questions, but I will let's try to approach these questions. Then I will tell you why this type of question is asked in a SQL round of interview. Okay. So let's try to see. Okay. Here, so let's try to approach this problem. So if you just try to think this particular problem, then we need actor ID and director ID, and we need the count. If we just do the group by on actor ID and director ID, then this will become one column, and we can just count the number of actor ID, right? So here this will be coming as 3, right? So let's start the writing. Let's write the code. Select actor ID from actor director group by actor ID comma director ID. Perfect. If we do the group by on two columns, actor ID and the director ID, then this combined value will be taken for making any aggregations, right? And we want to check that they should collaborate at least more than three times. So we can write having count of actor ID should be greater than equal to 3. Will this show the result? And we can just have actor ID, we need director ID also, right? So this is the code that we will be writing. I hope this is making sense to you. If we just implement group by on two column, actor ID comma director ID, that will combine that combined result we can use to make any aggregations. So this is the aggregations, right? So this is very easy problem, but let me just tell you why this type of problems is asked in a data engineering interview. So thing is that when you are in the interview round, so most of the times your mind works very straight. So and you most of the candidates only try think from applying group by on single columns. These questions involve applying group by on two columns. Unless you make group by on two columns, you will not able to write your aggregations. So interviewers try to check that can you think of applying group by on more than one columns, and can you write the aggregations in having clause itself. So sometimes I have seen the sometimes I have seen that people are able to write their code, but how they write their code, they will not write having there. They will say we will make this as a subquery, or we will write something like with a statement here as and they start writing code like this. So you should understand this is the unnecessary code. You are using with a statement or subquery and this doesn't make any sense. And then what they do, select a star from CTE where they will write count of actor ID is greater than equal to 3. This will also give you the same result. But do we need writing this with statement? No, we don't need as such, right? We can simply write our having clause. So interviewer try to check that do you know how to use having clause, how to apply filters once you do the aggregations. So they want to check your analytical skills. They want to check your approach. Okay. So I hope you are I am making sense. Okay, that why you should we should write the code like this. And one more thing. So whenever you are writing actor ID and director ID, you can actually write your code like this: 1 and 2, instead of writing actor ID and director ID again, because you have already supplied this actor ID in select statement. So you can apply 1 here. 1 denotes actor ID and 2 denotes director ID. So if you write your code like this now, so any interviewer will understand, yeah, you are actually good. You good with writing SQL code, and you have used in your code. It's not like that you have learned or you have practiced. So these are some of the what you call it doesn't makes much optimizations, but the thing is that if you write this type of elegant code, they will be highly impressed. Okay. And actually these questions I have taken from lead code. So we can just go to lead code and we can also see sorry that our solution is correct or not. We will verify it. Okay. Let me go to problems. Sorry for wasting your time. I should have opened before itself, but not a problem. Actor. Okay. Let's try to copy our code and check. I think I've already tried these questions. This is the same code, but okay. Let's try to run this code. Let's try to do the submit. Perfect. It is showing faster 47% only, but lead code this percentage is not correct. I will show you why I am saying so, because if I go to the base code now, they will also have the same code. Nothing differences, no differences there. Okay. Perfect. So we've solved our first questions. Perfect. Let's move to the next questions. Okay. Perfect. Let's move to the next questions. So in my interview, let me go to the next questions. The next question I have asked here, so you can just use this. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Let me just mute it. Okay. So this is the second question that we have solved. Okay, let me put it down. Okay. So in these questions, we are having one table, that is worker table. Perfect. It has two columns, ID and weight. ID is the primary key of this table, and ID is also auto incremented column. What does this means? It means that it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 dot. And in this worker columns, we have to write an SQL query to find all weight that appears at least 3 times consecutively. See, whenever you get this type of questions in your interview, na consecutive or something, start your mind from the inner join. If you are not able to solve using inner join, then start from lead or lag Windows functions. These two are enough if, to solve most of the consecutive problems. Means some questions which involves consecutive things. Okay. So let's try to see. So let's try to take the example here. You will see that 73, 73 and 73 are occurring 3 times consecutively, not any other weight are occurring 3 times. So you can easily see that our output will be 73. So let's try to write our code. I've already written this code, but okay. Let's try to write our code. How we are going to approach this problem. So what I have said, whenever you see any consecutive problems in your SQL round, just think that it can be solved by inner join. The first approach is this. So let's apply the inner join then. Here it is saying 3 times consecutive. It means that if we apply the inner join on or the self join on same table, then we need output something like that, right? How we can compare? If we just create one, write some SQL query, which if that SQL query gives output like this, 1, 2, 73, right? Let me just copy it from here and put it here. Perfect. If we can write some query which can give our output like something like this 1 2 3, now 2 3 4, perfect. I'm sorry, okay, 2 3 4. Just the formatting, let me just make it okay. So if we create some write our SQL query, if that can produce output like this, then we can easily see that if their values are matching, and then that will be the result, right? So how we can create some temporary tables from the initial tables? It's very simple. Just apply the join. Select w1 dot weigst weight from worker, perfect, as w1. This is the first table. What I have said, we have to apply inner join worker as on the same table itself, w2, perfect. Now we have to write our statement. W1 dot id is equal to, this W1 id should be equal to W2 id minus 1, perfect, because we want to match with 1 with 2, right? And W1 dot weight is equal to W2 dot weight, perfect. So what this will do? So this will create one output something like that. 1 w1 dot id, 1 will be matched to 2, right? So let me just delete it and we will write it again. So 1 will be matched to 2, perfect. 2 will be matched to 3, 3 will be matched to 4. So let's keep doing it. Let's try to do it so it will becomes more sense to you. It will take some time, but I am okay with that time. 4 will match with 5 and 6 will match with 7. So just for saving time, I am trying to skip the other part. Perfect. Okay, so let me just write it. 5 and this 5 will match with 6, right? Perfect. And 7 will not match because w1 dot w2, it will not match, so it will be discarded, right? So our output is something like this. Okay, so but we need 3 consecutive, right? So we have to write one more inner join worker as w3, perfect. And let me just make it little bigger so it will be visible. On w1 dot id is equal to w3 dot id minus 2, and w1 dot weight is equal to w3 dot weight. So now this w1 dot id will match with w3 id minus 1, means 1 will match with 3, right? So our output will be something like that. Sorry, I'm very sorry, let me just make it more formatting. Perfect. 2 will match with 4, so let's try to do it. 3 will match with 5, or let's try to do it. 4 will match with 6. Perfect, let's try to do it. And 5 will not match with anything, right? And 6 will also not match with anything, so it will be discarded because we are applying inner join, and this will not match, so we can discard it from here. Simple. Now what we have to do, we have to find, and if we write this thing, I was not applying this condition while I was formatting this particular tables, you are getting it, right? Let us apply this condition also. So here w1 dot w2, so this only this particular row will remain, because if we apply these conditions while applying the inner join, then all other things will be discarded. You are getting, only this particular row will be there, because for this only this w1 dot weight is equal to w2 dot weight, and w1 dot weight is equal to w3 dot weight. Perfect. So this will give us the result. Perfect. I hope you are able to get these problems, right? So whenever you are getting this type of problem, think from the inner join perspective, and you can always apply lag and lead functions. So I think in that video somebody has explained that Akash was there in my first interview. His name was Akash Dal. So yeah, he has also explained in the lag and lead. You can just watch that video, or somebody can also comment in the comment section. That will be really helpful. Okay, this questions also is not exactly there on lead code, but I have found one questions, and I have tried to make these questions based on that. Okay, so let me just search blocks. There is one questions which is near to these problems. No, this is not the problem. What's the I'm sorry, I should have searched it before itself. One minute. Our code is correct, but I just wanted to confirm it once. So let's try to submit our code and check. I think, yeah, this is the problem. Consecutive number, yeah. So here instead of worker we are having logs, and it has same id. These questions I have taken from this here itself, just try to change some little bit of that, and this also this questions is same, and here I have written the same code. You can see from logs as l1, then I have applied l2, l1 dot id is equal to l2 dot minus 1, and l1 dot id is equal to l3 dot id minus 1, and this. Perfect. And let's try to firstly let's try to run this particular query, then we will see that what is our output. It is not a correct one because we have not written our AND statement here. Perfect. But let me just try to show you the result, so it will make more sense to you. So you can see that's 1 1 2 1 and 3 1, right? Now 2 1, then 2 1 3 1 4 2, 2 1 3 1 and 4 2. Perfect. Same wise 5 is matched with 7, 5 is matched with 7. Perfect. Now you can see it output from the array, right? Now we have to write our condition because we want to check for consecutive equal, right? So and so we will write L1 dot num is equal to L2 dot num and L1 dot num is equal to L3 dot num. Perfect. And header is this. So we can write L1 dot id as consecutive numbers. Let's run it. Submit. Okay. What's the problem? Let me just check it. Why we are wrong. L1 dot L2 is equal to just 1 minute. Why it is giving us wrong? Okay, here logs is equal to L1 minus L. Oh, sorry. What is asked? Write a SQL query to find all number that appears at least 3 times consecutively. Okay. In our submissions, wrong answer. Okay. Oh, sorry. We have to find the numbers, right? Not ID. Find all numbers. It's nums, right? Not ID. Num. That will be distinct here. Yeah, perfect. So this is the second problem that we can solve. Okay, so we solve the that second questions. This one. Let me put it here in the down. Okay, so these two SQL questions I have asked in the first round of my mock interview, and now we are able to solve our these two questions. Let's try to move our DSA problem. So what DSA problem has? Let me just make it little big. Perfect. So here I have asked you one DSA problem. And what this problem is, so it is saying get given an integer array nums sorted in a non-decreasing order. So it is saying that we are having one array which is sorted in nature. We have to remove the duplicate in place. So we have to remove the duplicate in place means we have to remove the duplicates from that sorted array, but the thing is that we don't have to create one new array. We have to do our operation on that array itself such that each unique element appears only once. The relative order of elements should be kept the same. Perfect. So let's take the example from here. So this is a sorted array, the 1 1 2. So we can have 1 2 and so it's just that it giving dash because sometimes in some of the programming like Java we cannot decrease the length of array. So it just we have to remove that particular element. Perfect. Now let's take this example. So here the duplicates are you can see that 0 has 2, 1 has 3 occurrence, 2 has 2 occurrence and 3 has 2 occurrence. After removing it will be like 0 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have to do like that and we don't have to create any new array. Perfect. I hope you are able to get this answer. This is very simple. Sorry, get this question. This is a very simple problem. There is one sorted array. From that sorted array, we have to delete all duplicate value and we have to do this operation in place. Perfect. So let's try to write our code. So let me just try write one code. Create one Python file. Delete from sorted array. So nowadays mostly I am writing my code in Scala. So if I do some mistakes in Python, just forgive me. Okay. Perfect. Let me just write the main so we will able to at least run our code. Okay, and let me just create one function itself. delete from array, and let it accept some array. It is saying, oh, I do have habit of writing camel case. I write code. Okay, oh sorry. What is the syntax? 1 minute, huh? I forget the syntax itself. Oh, sorry. Delete from array. Perfect. So array we are passing. Perfect. And let's pass. We have to remove the duplicates. So let's try to see how we can do. This is very simple problem. Let's try to discuss it here itself. Then we will move to our solution. So what we can do. So let me give you one very good trick. Most of the times when someone is asking you to remove something and that too in place, then when you start thinking about the solutions, don't think about removing removing some element. Always think about your end result. Instead of writing your remove code, if you think about your end result, like this is our initial result, right? And this is our end result. If we just think of this particular end result, we will always solve this problem. We can easily solve this problem. How we can easily solve this problem? We can, due to some technical issues, our audio was paused, so I'm recording it again. So okay, so start from this point. So we were trying to solve this particular problems. In this problem, it was like there is one array, sorted array. We have to remove all duplicates from there. Perfect. And we have seen that that while solving this particular problem, we should always focus on end result instead of removing that element. And how we are going to do that? So we can always write two pointer approach, like we let me have I and j, and I'm calling I as 0 and j is 1. And what this I and j will increment? I will be always incremented, like it will be used for iterating through our array, and j is that index which will be only implemented if we get the end result. Like this is our first initial array, right? And this is our end result. So if our j is here, perfect, so j will be always incremented when we get the end result, like when we get this 1, then when we get this particular 2, when we get this 3 and this 4, right? Because we can see that we will be getting not getting duplicates, right, or this particular pointer. And how we can remove the duplicate element? So it's like, see, if we are having sorted array, then we can always check the adjacent element. So if there is one element, then the duplicate will always lie to the adjacent of that particular element, right? So we can use that thing. So let's try to write our code. I think that will make more sense. I hope you have already got the gist of the for our solutions. So we will writing I, why we are using I because for iterating I of length of array or length of nums itself. Perfect. And then we will be iterating -1, right? Perfect, because we have written this particular statement. So here we will writing if nums of I plus 1 is equal to, sorry, not equal to nums of I. What does this mean? It means that, let me just firstly, it means that we have got to that point or that iterations where we are not getting the duplicate element. When this will happen? This will happen at this particular place. 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 Perfect. So what we will do? We will just copy that element of I plus 1 in our j element, because j pointer will be always be incremented, or we will always be pointing to our desired result index. Perfect. So nums of I plus 1. Perfect. And we will be incrementing j plus j is equal to j plus 1, and I will be always incremented, I is equal to I plus 1. Perfect. So let's try to do the dry run of this problem. So in the beginning, I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 1. So, and we have gone to this particular loop and we have checked for this nums of I plus 1. Nums of I is equal to 0, then I plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 and 1 and 0. So this particular element are same. So this will not go to this particular element, if conditions. It will go here, right? So I will be incremented. Now I is equal to 1. Perfect. Now it will again go and it will check for this particular statement. I plus 1 is equal to 2. So we will be checking 1 and 2. Here 1 and 2, this particular condition satisfy because this is not equal. So what we will be doing? We will be just replacing j with the I plus 1. So what is I plus 1? Let me just write here also. I plus 1. So I plus 1 is 2, right? And j is 1. So the 1 will be replaced by 2. So 1 will be replaced by 2 and j will be incremented. Now j is equal to 2. Perfect. And I is incremented. If I is incremented, then this will be incremented 3. Perfect. So this is just for understanding purpose. Perfect. So now our we will be checking for this particular statement I plus 1, that is a 3 and 4. So 3 and 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this will not match. So it will just keep doing and it will again go to this. I'm just skipping the initial, the what you call the middle dry run. So it will go to this particular positions and it will check 2 or 3. Oh, 2 is matching. Sorry, it will let's go to this particular, this 1 and 2, and this 1 and 2 will be replaced to the j is 2, right? So this 2 will be replaced to this particular 2. Perfect. When this particular condition will meet, then this 3 will be replaced to, sorry, this 3 will be replaced to, sorry, this will be replaced to 2, this will be 3 will be replaced to here. Likewise this 4 will be replaced here. Perfect. And all other element, whatever element remains, will be keep shifting here, right? Perfect. So this I am just removing it. I hope you are getting. I'm moving a little faster because our video is becoming long, but yeah, I think you are getting the gist, right? It's very simple solution. It's just that you have to focus on the end result and you have to maintain two pointer, and you the one pointer will be always incremented, means I is equal to I plus 1, and the second pointer will only increment when we get the desired result, right? And so let's just try this code and let's just try to check if it is working or not. Okay, it's like nums. Perfect. So and let me just define I and j here, 0 and 1. Let's try to return the statement. We have to write return in Python. Yeah, nums of j. Perfect. So I hope you are getting this problem. This particular questions were also I have taken from what you call LeetCode itself. So LeetCode has very good questions. So it's just that I am taking questions from LeetCode because it will be easier for me to show you that it's working or not. Otherwise, you can practice from any source. So yeah, this is that particular questions. Let us just try to replace it with our code. Oh, sorry. I think. And here we have defined I and j. Perfect. And here we wanted to return the index instead of returning the element. Oh, sorry. Let's try to run our code. What is it saying? Type error. 1 minute first. Sorry, why we are returning index. Let's try to submit our code. You should not worry about the percentage because this is actually good code. It is the order of n code, right? Yeah, because we are only writing one for a while loop and we are only iterating once, so it's order of n. So if you just see that, and if you go to the some better code, you will see that they are using inbuilt functions. And in interview, you are not expected to use inbuilt functions. Like somebody will be using sorted functions. So yeah, this is a good code, and yeah, you can solve your questions like that. So always remember that whenever you are getting any remove type of problem, like remove some element from sorted array, or remove element from that particular place, or from particular that array, remove that particular element. So you can always solve this problem using two pointer, and yeah, that will be helpful to you. So I'm just pausing my video here, and we are still remaining with one of the questions, that is the big data questions. So that questions, what is the difference between the row based file format and the column based file format, and why we use a column based file format when we are doing any data engineering work or mostly any analytical work, and what is the difference between the row based file format like Avro and the column based file like Parquet and the ORC. So this video is getting very long, so we will be discussing in the next video. Thank you for now. I hope you have got my approach, and I will appreciate if you will try to write your approach in your comment in the comment sections. And if you learn from this video, just encourage me, try to like the videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel and share with your friends. Okay, I think we are good now. Bye bye for the next video. Let's meet in the next video and try to solve the next big data problem. Bye bye. Thank you.